children. So in our today's class we are gonna see the new lesson, separation of substances. So as you know about mixture, a mixture is a combination of two or more pure substances that are not chemically joined but are physically joined. Physically joined means we could separate them. So let us see how to separate those mixtures. So there are different ways for separation of the mixture. There are solids from solids, solids from liquids, and liquids from liquids. So solids from solids from liquids are divided into two types. Soluble solids, solids from liquids, and insoluble solids from liquids. So here solids from liquids are divided into two types, soluble solids and insoluble solids. So first let us see the solids from solids. There are four methods of separating solids from solids. First method is hand picking. So from the word itself you are knowing that hand picking means using your hand you are separating the substances. Like as you know, in the nowadays harvesting machines are used for separating, but in the olden days they use these methods for separating the substances. In hand picking, they will remove the stone from rice. So many workers will use their hands for separating the rice and the stone, because while taking the paddy plant and separating it, that time rocks will be small particles of rocks will be. So they will using their hands and separate the rice and the stones. Second, sieving. In sieving method, you will use a sieve. Sieve, you know, right? It will be in a cylinder-like shape with some small holes. See, it will separate what? Substances of different sizes. Different sizes. Like, you know that example, here, this method is to use from gravel from sand. Gravel from sand. Like if you take Ashirwad atta, no, you will use for chapatis. So the sieve. First you will put the atta in the sieve. After that you separate in small stones. If they are getting natural means small stones will be there, no. So using a sieve, what they will do? They will just separate the atta and the stones, because they both are different sizes. See, that will be so small, but stones will be a little bigger. So according to the size, this sieving method is used. So here you are seeing a sieve. So this is a picture of a sieve. Next, second is sieving. Now you learn. Now third one is threshing. Threshing. This method that is used to loosen the seeds such as wheat and rice from their husk and straws is called threshing. Now, as you know, taking an example of paddy plant. Nowadays, harvesting machines is used for separating the husk and the rice. But in the olden days, threshing method is used for separating the husk and the rice. They will just keep a flat table. And they will take the paddy plant, and they will first smash it on the table. First they will check it. Next they will separate it. But how they will separate? Using a machine called thresher. Thresher is a machine that is used for separating, and it is used in the method of threshing. So this is threshing method. Next we are gonna see the last one, that is winnowing. So in winnowing method, you will use what? Wind. The fan used for winnowing method. What they will do now? First, in the olden days, they will use this tool. See, they will use this for looking as a fan for them, and they will just move that tool and they will separate it. Here, what is the method? You know, they will separate the heavier and the lighter substances. But in sieving, they will separate up the substances of different sizes. So don't be confused. In winnowing, lighter substances and heavier substances are separated. See, heavier, while they move the tool, what will happen? It will act as a wind. So heavier substances will be there and the lighter substances will spread all over that place, leaving the heavier substances there. So in winnowing, wind is used. So these are the separation of substances from solids and from solids. Next, solids from liquids. So this word is common, but do you know there is two types? Yes, soluble solids and insoluble solids. First, let us see separation of insoluble solids from liquids. In this, there are three types of separating insoluble solids from liquids. They are sedimentation, decantation, and filtration. These are the three methods separation of insoluble solids from liquids. So let us see how they work. Sedimentation. In sedimentation, there is sediment and supernatant. Now here, the process is known as sedimentation. The clear liquids that remains above the substance. First, they will take a bowl of muddy water. Using a spoon, they will just mix it, and they will not disturb that substance. And after a few minutes or hours, what will happen? A little bit clear liquid will be on the top, leaving the sand at the down without disturbing it. So the upper part is called supernatant. Okay, supernatant. Next, and the particle that is settling down, the sand, is called a sediment. So in sedimentation, there are supernatant, and sediment. Okay. In this method, nothing is there. They'll just take a spoon and a bowl of muddy water. They'll just mix it, and they'll keep for a half an hour or for a hour, so that the sediment will settle down. So till the sediment will settle down, they will just leave it without disturbing it. So after that, when you see, a little bit clear liquid will be on the top. That is called supernatant. And the smaller particle, that is the sand, called as sediment, and it is because it is settling down. Supernatant means super, means at the top. So supernatant is the clear liquid in the top. Next, for example, obtaining clear water from muddy water. Decantation. It is the process in which the supernatant is carefully poured into another container without disturbing the sediment. Decantation means they will take two beakers. Here one beaker, that is what they did sedimentation, one beaker of that, and another beaker with no liquid. What they do now, they will just pour it. And decantation, they will just pour it. They will not do any process. Just take a beaker, another beaker, and they will pour it. So after, without disturbing the sediment. Sediment, you know, that is the lower part, settling down. It will settle down completely. But the liquid, no, it will just not disturb the sediment, and it will come. And the supernatant will be transferred to the another beaker. the process of decantation. And here, and in another beaker there will be a liquid that is called decant. Okay, or decanter. And filtration. Next is filtration. Here you will take decanter. Okay, decanter. Filtration. So in filtration there are two: filtrate and residue. I'm gonna say about that. Okay, filtrate and residue. Filtration means filtering. By the word only I am saying is filtering the water. So if there's a beaker like this, if the scientists will have some beakers, no, like this. I will be one beaker. Here they will place a funnel, and what they will do, they will take the, after the process of decantation, that muddy water will be, no, they will just pour it here into this, what? Into the funnel. After they will pour into the funnel, clear liquid will come. Not that much clear liquid. A little bit, not little bit, in a medium clear liquid will come and settle here. It's good only, you could drink it. See, filtration is nothing, you filter the tea, no? So like that, even you could filter the muddy water. So using a funnel, you will pour the muddy water, that is after the process of decantation, and you will get the clear liquid, more clear liquid at the bottom. Sedimentation, what will happen? Little muddy water. In decantation, not that much muddy water. In the last process of filtration, what will happen? There will be a clear liquid of water. So the liquid, this liquid is called a filtrate. This is the filtrate. See how they will take this clear liquid you are having. How it will come as clear liquid? They will keep a filtrate paper here. Filtrate paper. Okay, in a filtrate paper, they will pour this liquid. The filtrate paper will hold that mud and leaving the liquid at the bottom as clear liquid. That is filtrate. And the particle that is left behind in the filtrate paper is called the residue. That's the residue. Okay? Now see here, the solid that is left behind. So here the solid will be left. That is the residue. So in sedimentation, supernatant and sediment. In decantation, decantate. In filtration, filtrate and residue. So from the words only you are getting all this. See, sedimentation, sediment, decantation, decantate, filtration, filtrate. This is how we will separate the insoluble solids from liquids. So I hope you all understand how to separate the insoluble solids from liquids. Fantastic fact. Alloy is a mixture of two or more metals or a mixture of a metal and another element. Alloy is a mixture of more element. Okay, it's a mixture of more or another element. Or okay. Next, in an example for filtration is filtering a tea using a strainer. Next, insoluble solids from. So you learn next separation of soluble solids from liquids. So in soluble solids from liquids there are two types. What are they? They are evaporation and distillation. These are the two types of separating soluble solids from liquids. You have learned insoluble solids from liquids. Now you are learning soluble solids from liquids. They are evaporation and distillation. First, evaporation. Evaporation is nothing. Water to gaseous state. You know, this sea water, the salt and the water. How people will separate salt and seawater using the process of evaporation. Evaporation separates, here the example, obtaining salt from salt water solution. Salt water means is oceans and seas. So you will get this salts. No, people will obtain it from the oceans and seas using the process of evaporation. Distillation. See, here there are two beakers. There is two beakers. Here one beaker and it will not be here one beaker, and here there will be a jacket. Let us say about that. Here there will be a open area for and here will be a bowl. Okay, here will be the bowl. See, here two processes involved: evaporation and condensation. Here is a jacket actually. This is the open area. This is here it will go, here it will come. Okay, precisely. So, for example, doctors use distilled water for dissolving the medicines for injections. So, these medicines are used as a liquid, but how they will make it as a liquid? Using the distilled water. I will say how the process will involve. The process of obtaining pure liquid from a solution containing dissolved salts and other impurities. In this process, water is evaporated. See, here it will be so hot. And what will happen here? The water will evaporate. Okay, it will be evaporation. Process will involve. And what will go? By going here, the jacket will protect it. So normally we people what will use jackets for keeping us warm. Okay, if that's so cold, we will keep it for making it warm. Here in the jacket, condensation process is happening. Here the evaporation, after the process, it will go into the jacket. So it will make the water cool and warm, and it will pass through the opening area, and it will give a distilled water in another bowl or a container. So here it is called a distilling. Here it is called a distilling. Okay. Here the liquid mixture. Here will be the liquid mixture. After heating it, here the water vapor will happen. Here the water vapor will happen. And after that, here the cooler. Jacket is cooler only. It is a cooler which will make the evaporated water cool because it will be so hot. And it will give a distillate water. Okay. Now we understand the process of evaporation and distillation. So these are the two methods of separating soluble solids from liquids. Okay. And next, let's go to the last separation of substances. That is separation of liquids from liquids. So there are two types: immiscible liquids and miscible liquids. Immiscible liquids will not mix to each other, like oil and water. They will not mix to each other. And miscible means they will mix to each other, like water and sugar. If you mix both of them, they both will mix. If you take with oil and water, they are immiscible liquids. They will not mix at all. So let us see the separation of liquids from liquids. As you know, oil is different and water is different. But they both are liquid only, but they both are different categories. Here, let us see how to separate this oil and water using a separating funnel. Separate funnel is nothing. It is a will be here the beaker will be, and here the I'll show you how it will be. See here, there will be a container at the bottom, and here will be what? The separating funnel. In that I will pour an oil and the water. Here is there will be different densities. Here is a cap. If you rotate the cap, it will open and separate it. After the turn of the oil will come into the beaker, you will close it so that they both will not mix. But you should not drink it because they both are mixed to each other. The taste will be different, so you should not drink them. Here, after the time of the oil, you should just close the cap. How to hold a separating funnel? There will be a stand to hold the separating funnels. See here. Now let us see how to separate them. It is used for the separation of two or more immiscible liquids of different densities. Example, oil and water. I will explain you this. See, here is the stand. Okay, here will be the stand to hold the what? Separating funnel. Okay, to hold the separating funnel. Okay, here the stand for holding the here will be oil. Here will be the water. Here will be the beaker. Okay, here will be the beaker. Here is the cap. Okay, here will be the cap. Here is oil and water. Okay, first we will open this cap. After that, the water will come a little slow only. So it will take much time. So you should have patience for the oil step. When the oil comes here, at least here or here. Actually, you should suddenly after it will come here. Actually, it will not come here. Okay. No. Here will be the cap. When the oil comes here, you should close the cap immediately. Okay, because again the both will mix, and again we should do from the first. So when the oil comes here, you should stop them because you should take another beaker. So in the another beaker, you should add the oil. In one more beaker, there should be water. So you will separate the water and the oil using this separating funnel. Separating funnel. Here you are seeing separating funnel. Okay. So from this mind map, you are seeing solids from solids, solids from liquids. There are two types: soluble solids and insoluble solids, and liquids from liquids. Here they are using hand picking, sieving, threshing and winnowing. Here in soluble solids they will use evaporation and distillation. In insoluble solids, sedimentation, decantation and filtration. From liquids they will use by separating funnel. So these are the separation of substances. Thank you.